This is Emily, Debbie, and Sarah's ideal vision of an early childhood classroom.
Our goals of early childhood education are to have students develop a love of learning, to create a caring community of learners, to engage their learning through hands-on experiences, and to provide a rich environment that benefits all areas of child development.
Some beliefs of how children learn and development stem from the ideas of Piaget. Piaget is an important influence when it comes to understanding how children learn and develop. According to Morrison, Piaget believed that free, unstructured play promotes cognitive knowledge and that children learn best through active involvement. Piaget also developed the cognitive theory of development, which involved his proposition that children learn intelligence through direct experiences with the physical world. He also believed that learning is an internal process involving children's adapting new information to what they already know. In addition, he believed that children are little scientists and literally develop their own intelligence. This relates to his project approach to learning. For example, through the project approach, students gain opportunities to engage in the real world and develop a curiosity for them to further investigate. Piaget's cognitive theory of development also involved the constructivist approach to learning, which we will further elaborate.
We would like to provide the constructivism theory into our future classroom. Constructivism is a theory about human knowledge and learning. Knowledge is defined as temporary, developmental, and socially and culturally mediated, therefore subjective. Learning is a self-regulated process that resolves inner cognitive conflicts through the aids of concrete experience, collaborative discourse, and reflection. Learning takes place is constructed in the head of the learner by the learner. One thing I would like to note about constructivism is that children learn the best through engaged and active learning. This creates an experience for children to hold on to.
We also like the philosophies of the Reggio approach. Reggio Emilia is a blend of Montessori and play-based learning that acknowledges the importance of expressive arts. Reggio Emilia focuses on cognitive development. It gives children more time with the art teacher and more materials to work with. And the approach does not give children answers, it teaches them how to find the answers themselves. Some features of the Reggio Emilia approach are it focuses on family, peers, and school community. They have a full day schedule and believe that learning should not be trapped by a regular schedule, which provides more sufficient time to finish projects and follow the children's interests. They follow 3-year cycles where the teacher loops with the children for 3 years and stays with them longer. They have special studios, materials, and resources. They believe art is important and provide professional art teachers. They follow emergent curriculum where the teacher has general goals but follows children's interests and develops and adjusts the lessons as they go. And constructivism where the teacher and student construct the knowledge together.
Now we'd like to talk about our ideal early childhood classroom design, starting with the physical environment and classroom materials.
The Reggio approach considers the environment a third teacher. They believe that the classroom must be flexible and responsive and must undergo frequent modification. The classroom must be a home away from home for the children, and it must have open-ended learning centers and materials, and the walls are covered in children's artwork.
The curriculum we would like to follow is the emergent curriculum. In this approach, the teacher plans instruction based off specific students' interests, skills, and needs. They can learn more about students' skills and interests by observing students and using kid watching. The teacher's role is to scaffold the students' knowledge. Often teachers will find the topic the students are interested in and then turn this interest into an investigation by asking thought-provoking questions. Students then come up with a driving question to investigate. The curriculum involves a lot of project-based learning, finding what students are interested in, and investigating using active learning methods.
Some teaching strategies we'd like to use are creating activities that are child-centered, because students learn best when they engage in activities that interest them. In addition, creating cultural ties allows children to have a connection to new information. As teachers, we can create hooks from what children already know to gaining knowledge of new information. We also believe it is important to provide meaningful experiences that involve hands-on materials. For example, by taking children on a field trip or even a virtual tour, students can explore the world around them and develop ideas and a curiosity to learn about new things. Children can formulate questions about their experience, and from there a teacher could develop a lesson that extends their thinking. We would also like to use differentiation. It provides all children to learn at their own pace. As teachers, we can observe students to determine their different learning styles. This allows the high-functioning students to be engaged in activities that are challenging when they deem them to be too easy. It also allows struggling students to get the assistance they need to complete a task.
The assessment strategies we would like to use in our ideal classroom is authentic assessment. Authentic testing measures students' performance throughout the year to see if learning objectives were met. This can be done through reports, speeches, journals, and interviews, as well as portfolios or checklists. An example of authentic testing would be keeping a portfolio on a particular student that provides pictures and artifacts which show students' progress throughout the year.
Now we'd like to talk about guidance strategies. The first step in guiding behaviors is to create a caring community of learners. This involves teaching children to have a shared responsibility for the physical, social, and learning environment, according to Morrison. To do this, it is important to have a child-centered environment. This could include having children guide their own behaviors with the help and guidance of a teacher. For example, after establishing clear behavior expectations, we can have students help in creating class rules and can continually encourage them to follow the rules throughout the year. Another guidance strategy is to scaffold. Morrison describes scaffolding as a process of using informal methods such as conversations, questions, modeling, guiding, and supporting to help children learn concepts, knowledge, and skills that they might not learn by themselves. As teachers, we can model good behavior so that children have a clear idea of what may be expected from them. We could also use reinforcement procedures such as using the ABC format. This involves the teacher establishing what antecedent caused the behavior and then selecting a consequence that is appropriate to the behavior. It is important that the consequence fits the behavior and is reinforced immediately after the behavior is enacted so that the child learns that it's not appropriate.
Our vision of an ideal early childhood classroom follows developmentally appropriate practices in many ways. First off, it is age appropriate because it focuses on how children develop and learn. For example, the physical setting is age appropriate due to materials being at eye level and creating a space for children to explore freely. According to Bredekamp and Koppel, teachers create a learning environment that fosters children's initiative, active exploration of materials, and sustained engagement with other children, adults, and activities. In addition, it is individually appropriate. For instance, all children learn differently and have different interests, so the process of differentiation helps to meet all children's needs in order for them to succeed. Bredekamp and Koppel state that teachers use a variety of instructional strategies to suit particular learning goals, specific situations, and the needs of individual children. These strategies include encouraging children, offering specific feedback, modeling skills or positive behavior, creating or adding challenge, giving a cue, hint, or other assistance, telling information directly, and giving directions. Lastly, it is socially and culturally appropriate due to the nature of connecting classroom content to where children live. According to Bredekamp and Koppel, teachers bring each child's home culture and language into the shared culture of the school so that children gain a sense of belonging and form a positive self-identity.
In conclusion, our ideal classroom is a place where knowledge is constructed through active learning. As a student-centered environment, children can gain a love for learning, which in return can promote their developmental and academic success.